Uh, Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Podcast Desu. And I'm here with some amazing guests today talking about Hanabie, which is absolutely amazing. I'm a little bit jelly. I want to say a big thank you guys as well for joining me today. Let's introduce each and every one of you. We had some sound problems the first time, so this is actually the second time we're recording this. But so, Mr. Hades, fingers crossed now, I'm going to tell us a little bit about yourself, my man, and tell me how you discovered Hanabie.
Hello, I am Hades or Hadestillo, depending on the place you find me. And yeah, I found Hanabie in maybe 2 years ago when they were doing Wheel of Sweets and in the reaction scene mostly. So yeah, they really quickly catch my attention because you saw they were not just another band in the scene. No? They had something in there that made them special, and I put my eye in there to follow what they were doing.
Yeah.
And since then, they have not stopped to keep getting better and better and better. And now we see how good they are and how good they are doing.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. So there you go, the reaction scene as well. So
Mhm.
that's pretty awesome. So well, all right, we'll move around in a clockwise scenario. So Mr. Pugh, because I know what your lead up to this is going to be. So go on. No, Mr. Insano. Sorry, I get
Okay.
confused. I was gonna say doing the wrong one. So I'm just gonna hang my head and shake.
Okay, yeah. I'm Jonas, and actually, Hades is the one that introduced me to Hanabie on the Baby Metal Discord. And yeah, somehow it's the perfect combination for me of, yeah, like weird vocals, weird music, and on the same time, it's super heavy and super harsh vocals, which I also really like. Yeah, and I'm really happy that they finally do an EU tour. It was even the first time they actually played outside of Japan, I think. Quite a perfect
Wow.
moment to become a fan and get into Hanabie.
Oh, nice. And what about you, Mr. Pugh? How did you come across this amazing band?
For me, I don't 100% remember how I got in, but it must have been also around the time when they came up with We Love Sweets, and then seeing reactions all over the place, and that really grabbed my attention as well because it had the same impact to me like Baby Metal did.
Yeah.
It was so confusing yet so catchy, and I just kept to it then.
Yeah. Well,
I got more and more into it.
all you guys had the insane pleasure. I believe you all saw the same show, did you, in Berlin?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you all guys met together, went to go and see them in Berlin. How was that show like? It was like what was that like for you guys seeing? I presume, like you said, Hanabie for the very first time.
I'll mark the words I said to Insane at the very moment the show ended. Best show ever.
I saw that. I saw that. It is like obviously with a lot of baby metal fans and all that coming around as well. You must have got some stick for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's pretty not very objective, but more like taste. For me, it also definitely is in the top 5 of my best shows ever. But it is definitely by far number 1 for best sound ever. I've never heard any band that sounds so good live. That was almost like studio audio quality. Yeah, I didn't even know it's possible that a band sounds so good live. That was actually insane.
Oh wow! What about you, Mr. Hades?
Agree to that.
Mr. Hades, what was it like for you, my man? What was your standout there?
Well, for me, it was not the best sound ever because I had the cymbals very close and Chica hits very strong, but it was a really, really good show.
Yeah.
S tier, yeah, not the best ever that I have been in, but S tier for sure, like at the level of maximum the hormone per year. Yeah, and
Wow.
crazy mosh pit.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I was gonna.
If you can go, you cannot miss it because it's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I've had so many gigs the last couple of like weeks and stuff, and the Hanabie one, unfortunately, was just one I had to miss out on because like I said, I've just been to see Rum Cakes as well, and then Baby Metal is before, and then I'm off to go and see Baby Metal again in like literally 2 months. So I'm not earning
It's
that.
coming.
I'm not earning that YouTube money yet, and I need to. That's a hint to subscribe to the channel, by the way, so I can start going to more gigs.
Yeah.
But yeah, both you guys said obviously in terms of sound and stuff like that. I know the mosh pit was amazing. I know you guys kind of went in together, and ended up being at different ends of the the venue probably at one point by the end of it. So that's pretty cool.
Pretty much started second row in front of Yukina, and it was crazy how close they were because there was no barrier and no safety area. There wasn't even security,
Oh damn!
and they were literally like 30 centimeters in front of us. And that's I've never been to any concert where you're so close to the artist.
Oh wow, that sounds amazing. What were the girls like that night as well? Obviously you guys say like best concert ever. But that is high praise. Like, what separated it for you? Like, what stood out apart from the sound itself? Like, what were the girls like? Were they comfortable? Did they do any standout moments that kind of really took your breath away?
They look really, really shocked to be there. I think they still have not assimilated what is happening to them because you see they are doing their show, playing, and sometimes they look like to the crowd, and they look really shocked for a second in an expression on their faces, and that's really cool
Yeah,
to see.
Yeah, it almost felt like they didn't believe that this is actually happening to them, that they're playing shows in larger venues, especially like we had right now with, what was it, about 700 people?
Yeah,
It
They
doesn't
are
sound like a
playing
lot,
they are doing their thing and they look like this and see 700 Germans moshing and say, what's going on, man?
yeah. I mean, that's
but
gonna
for
be
me
surreal.
also it was just kind of like everything from the show came together just perfectly. It was the energy from the girls themselves, the fun they displayed on stage that transcribed over to the crowd, and the crowd was so energetic as well and getting along with everything, having fun, having the time of their life. Everything came together and was just great. That was what for me made it the best show all the time, apart from finally meeting the Discord guys.
Aww. But
That's a very important part too, to meet the people that you have known for so many time. That's a really good experience too.
yeah. What about you, Insane? How did it like? What was the thing that really kind of stuck out to you?
I think they looked or behaved really natural on stage. I don't know how to describe, but they didn't take anything too serious in a good way. Like Hetsu Ori, when she came on stage, she had a beer in her hand and spilled it over her head accidentally. and she just laughed it off. And yeah, I don't know, they behaved really natural. Also, before the show, we were queuing around 6 hours, I think. They arrived at the venue directly in front of it, and there were two entries, one backdoor entry and one through the front door. And Yukina actually walked past us through the front door.
Yeah.
So she chose to walk past us. I think that was a quite cool moment because all the other girls walked through the back door.
Yeah.
But but the fact that she chose to walk past us and waved, yeah, that's
Aw.
something you won't have with most artists, I think.
Yeah. That's really good as well. I sometimes I feel like artists kind of miss that interactivity with the fans a little bit, especially like hanging out. It's why I quite like smaller venues sometimes because you can sometimes see the band at the bar or have a conversation with them and hang out with them, and they feel much more human, I think, in that respect. But when the girls were performing, obviously you said how natural they were. How was their interaction with the fans as well? Like that backwards and forwards. Did they seem to really thrive off that?
Well, they try to interact with the crowd. Of course, there was this huge language barrier because I think except Hetsu, they all speak almost no English at all. Like maybe one or two sentences that they learned before the shows.
Yeah.
And when they tried to make the audience do something, often the crowd just did nothing or just screamed because nobody really understood what we are supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, at one point, Hetsu wanted us to sing a typical German Prost song, but yeah, it took a few times. She had to explain it a few times until the crowd finally understood
Hey.
what we are supposed to do. I didn't understand at all what we are supposed to do until after the crowd sang that. Because
I didn't know when you were singing.
I think it
I
was the
didn't know
third
what was going
attempt, or
on.
I think it was the third attempt that she tried to convince the crowd to sing along, or something like that, during the same break. Noted, but
Yeah.
yeah,
To be fair, like even that's pretty impressive when you think about the language barrier and stuff like that. It must be a sort of unique experience for them to kind of come down, especially when they're going from like England to Germany to France, to Spain, and stuff like that. All these different languages, and they probably speak none of it.
the cool thing is they tried their best with the English,
Mm.
and it was enough for the show, and it didn't look like they feel awkward trying with this broken English. They yeah, they didn't have a problem at all with it that they don't really speak English.
Yeah.
That's also one point why I meant they were really natural on stage because they didn't not awkward at all.
Nice. I like that. So going from the obviously beginning of the gig to the end of the gig, what was the song that really kind of sold it to you guys? Like, was it first song in and you're like, holy crap, this is amazing, or did it take a bit of time to warm up? At what point did you guys think, fuck yeah, this is a show?
from the get-go
I
for me.
think, yeah.
Yeah, like
me, it was-
Also, we said it like,
Oh, we'll let Hades go first, then we'll go around.
Yeah, sure.
yeah, no, I was saying that maybe in the MV it doesn't look so good, but live also it's crazy, man. It's really it's a live song. You have
Yeah.
to see it live, or you don't get what it is about.
There's a lot of songs like that. A lot of artists, and we say this quite a lot. I've said it quite a lot on the podcast and the shows and all that as well. That there's some songs that are just meant to be played live. I feel like if you listen to the studio version, it's good, but it's not as good as when you when you hear it live. You know. So it's nice to hear that. I like the fact that you can be there and it makes that song something else. What about you, Insane?
yeah, for me it was directly when they came on stage and Yukina stepped on this little step in front of us, and the first thing she did was just growling into it, and then that moment I already know, wow, this will be amazing because it's amazing how well she can growl live.
Yeah.
For metal bands do growls and screams, it's always like 50-50 if they sound good live. She can really growl live without any problems.
I saw a clip of the show in Berlin because we watched it on stream, and the sound quality. I don't know who was it that recorded it. The sound quality was fucking awful. That phone was getting battered, but even through that, I could hear the screams and stuff like that, and even I was like, holy hell, that sounds so good. So what about you, Pew, as well? Was there like from the moment you said before, from the moment you got in, you were just like, hell yeah.
Yeah, from the moment the show started, I was caught already, and Yeah, her screams definitely what you hear on the albums are even better live.
Yeah.
Gotta say that. And I mean, funny thing for me, when the show started, right after the opening act, I really need to go to pee. So I had to battle my way through the audience, get into the toilet, coming back, trying to get in. It was so crowded, I had no way to get back somehow. So I squished myself somewhere in the middle, and they came on stage. Akina started to scream, music started playing, everybody started mosh. So I could just walk my way back to the front where I was before.
I love that. I love that. Like I said, talking about the venue and talking about like obviously the mosh pits and stuff like that. You said those guys were great. Did you spend a lot of time in the pits for the concert, or were you trying to get to the front and try and with the girls? Like I said before, you kind of got maybe swept up in the pits at some point. We'll start with you this time. We'll go the way around.
Sure. I first tried to catch as much as I can from the show, just watching them having fun with everything around. I felt the mosh pits in the back, the wave coming again and again. But when before they started playing Tozo, Yukina called for the mosh pit. The pit opening up behind us, it was for the venue quite large. And I was just like, okay, I gotta go in there. Looked over to Zane and Liffy, and we just got in it. We just got in it.
Bloody hell, worth it.
Definitely worth it. 10 out of 10 would do it again.
10 out of 10 would go again. What about you? So how did you cope in the pit?
Pretty much the same. That song was also the first time I really went into the pit, but the whole concert in front of Yukina, it was almost like a mosh pit. I don't think I've ever had that much crush on any show in my life. It was insane how much the front moved in front of her and how much everyone pushed. Everyone was just super energetic, and I think you can't really prevent that at a show like this. But it wasn't too much, so it wasn't. It was still enjoyable. Yeah, but then after Tozo, we just went completely wild. I remember going into the pit of this and coming out of it on the opposite part of the venue, completely at the back, and it was quite difficult to get back into the front, even though everyone was moving.
Oh, nice one. What about you, Mr. Hades? Did you enjoy the pits? Did you get in there, my man?
I was not very much in the pit because I was at the side in front of Hetsu. So the pit didn't get there too much, but it was still, even if it was at the side, the pit was coming to you sometimes. You had to find your place too.
So if you don't,
but really good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, go on.
Right, I'm gonna go and ask the difficult questions now because you guys have had it easy up to this point. So now I'm gonna put you under the microscope and under a little bit of pressure. Under pressure. I'm gonna ask you guys, going into the gigs, who your favorite member was, and coming out of that gig, which member impressed you the most. Who wants to tackle this one first? I see Mr. Insane is laughing, so I'm gathering he's got an answer. So we're gonna pick on him.
Yeah, actually, it changed for me after the gig, because before the gig, Matsuri was my favorite member, but after seeing Yukina live, it definitely changed to her. Maybe that's because I was directly in front of her the whole show, but yeah, that. I still can't believe what kind of noises coming out of her mouth, especially since she's smaller than 1.50 m. She's actually smaller than Moa.
Yeah, she is
148. She's 148.
It's crazy that you can that you can produce a sound like this with a small body like this.
Yeah,
that really impressed me.
What about you, Mr. Hades? Which member really kind of impressed you?
Well, I have always been a Matsuri man because she sings really good and she makes the music. That's awesome. So I have a lot of respect for this girl. But I was just in front of Hetsu, and man, she's a show to watch. She doesn't stop headbanging, doing good cute things like this all the time. She's awesome too, man. And Yukina, of course. Oh, and Chica, it's a beast drummer.
You're only
All
supposed to
of them.
pick one, my dude. That's cheating if you're praising them all.
I will remain faithful to Matsuri, though. Yeah,
All right,
she's my favorite.
go ahead. Pew, you can come in prepared, my man. Now you've heard the other two answers. What
For me, before the show, it was Hetsu,
Mm.
and right now after the show, that shifted over to Chica.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Any reason for that? Any reason particularly she caught your eye?
I was just observing her from time to time, and first of all, her drumming was so effortless, and the power she brought in and the drive was just next level.
Yeah.
While keeping a smile throughout the show on her face.
Yeah, that was the best thing. Did you guys pick up any merch for the show?
Yeah, wearing right now.
Yeah, I can see a few tops
too.
already.
I bought both T-shirts that they had for the tour.
Yeah. How much does that set you back in euros?
It was 35 per shirt, so
That's
70
not too
euro.
bad.
Yeah, that's really good for tour merch.
So yeah, no, that is pretty decent. I'm gonna ask you some more hard questions right now. You guys have praised it. You've said best gig ever. You've all been impressed, but was there any negatives from this gig? Could you take anything away that you thought, hey, they could improve on this? Maybe the venue or anything like that, or
The venue can really use air conditioning.
Yeah.
I heard about that. I seen in Discord that you guys were joking and you were like, oh my god, we almost died. Like, seriously.
Well, I mean, actually, people passed out at the concert because it was so hot, and I actually saw black at points because I couldn't
hell.
breathe anymore because it was so hot. I don't think I've ever sweated that much at a concert.
Yeah, oh, bloody hell.
But we are good like that, man. Merging suites like real warriors.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's insane. I've seen a few people pass out at a few gigs as well, which is never nice. But yeah, like you know, I always say, you know, if you go into a gig and you don't come out hot and sweaty, did you really go to the gig at all? gotta be caked in sweat.
I mean, that's true, but it was so hot in there, you didn't even need to move, and you'll feel dehydrated from about mid-show. It was so intensely hot in there.
Did that take away from like the atmosphere a little bit? Did the crowd sort of like go down a little bit because of that?
Not at all, from my feeling.
No, I don't think so either.
So
I was okay.
You were okay. So everybody was just like, "Fuck this! I could collapse, but you know I'm gonna fucking enjoy myself anyway." I like it.
My attitude.
Yeah, pretty much.
Health be damned. I'm enjoying this. I like it. Now you guys have seen them in Berlin. I didn't ask you before I asked you onto the show, but I know that a few guys have been traveling around and all that as well. Are you seeing them or have seen them at any other concerts apart from the Berlin one, or was the Berlin one you were all just your first?
Was the first for me.
Was the first for you as well? So nobody's seen them anywhere else, just the Berlin one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not live through YouTube, yes, but
Hey, wait.
From YouTube. That's cool. I just thought I'd ask just to be sure. And also, what was the? I want to say, what was the band's sort of like persona on stage? You said before that the interaction and all that was good with the beer toss and stuff like that. But obviously, before we go and see a band, like you said, we see them on YouTube, we see them videos and stuff like that. So you kind of come into a show with a preconception of what you think you're going to see? Did they live up to your expectations, or did they act in a way that you were like, holy crap, I didn't know like they were going to be this way? Or were they pretty standard to you guys? Were they just like what you
Well-
exactly what you expected them to be?
I wouldn't say they were standard on stage, but I pretty much expected them to be exactly like how they were at the show. So very, very lively and super energetic on stage.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I like that as well. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. We're gonna go back. I've already put you under the noose for members, but I'm gonna ask you for your favorite song. What was your best song and performance of the night? So we'll start with Hades and we'll go back round again.
The best song. Oh, I say Toso already. No, the one that surprised me that didn't make I didn't put many attention in the album. That's Warning, and Warning live sounds very good too. And then you have the usuals, the Osaki Nishitsuru Isimas, and also the Beat the Girl. It's really good too. It's a great song.
Yeah.
So that will be the ones that will outstand for me.
Yeah. Nice one.
Oh, LCG, I love LCG too. So that one is really good.
I tell you what, I love you, Hades. Sometimes I'm like, what's your favorite song? And then he just goes on to name about 15. Covering every single base there. I'm like, yeah, cheers, man.
Because they have a lot of good songs.
Yeah. So, you know, next time if I ask you to name me 15, you'll probably rattle off 30, wouldn't you?
Top 13, if there are 13 songs in the show.
So, what about you, Incentive? What was your favorite standout song?
Definitely Warning, I think. So slowly grows to my favorite song from the new album.
Yeah.
And I think it has everything. I like especially the Hetsu part of it because that's quite unusual for Hanabie that they have Hetsu singing something. Yeah, and also the crowd interaction I think was pretty cool at Warning because yeah, Yukina just said, yeah, let's dance, and everyone was super excited. But on the other hand, the song is also super brutal, especially at the beginning. It just kicks in from 0 to 100.
Yeah. A nice one. What about you, Mr. Pugh?
I think for me, the performance I loved the most was Tales of Williams in the middle of the show. It's also the kind of songs that starts off rather slow, but it goes in very fast, and just the interaction with the crowd also there it went from 0 to 100, and I just enjoyed that one the most.
Yeah, I like that. For the experience and all that, if you guys could rate them out of 10, I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to answer it anyway. If you could rate them out of 10, what would you give the gigs?
It's 10 for me.
For me too.
Yeah.
A 10 across the board. Shocked. I'm shocked. But that's been great. What did you guys do after the show as well? By the way, I don't know where you guys all met up. Did you go and hang out and have like a few beers and stuff like that? Did you meet any of the other like German fans or anything from the gig after as well?
The first thing we did after the gig was the meet and greet with Hanabie.
How did that go?
The first 100 people who bought either a shirt or CD got a meet and greet. Yeah, and they were super nice. So they didn't look bored or anything like you often see at meet and greets or signing sessions.
Yeah.
And especially Hetsu really tried to engage conversation, at least with me. And the others were more like, yeah, hello, and oh, arigato, thank you. But the first thing she told me was, hey, how was the show? How did you like it? And then she noticed that I had the special edition of the CD with me instead of the one that you can buy at the venue. And yeah, she liked that and interacted with me.
Oh, that's nice. Did you? I
She really
saw
liked it.
a signed shirt in the Discord as well. So whose shirt was that? Was that any of yours or?
I think that was Pishner's, if I remember
Is that
correctly.
is that
Maybe.
Mr. Penta's? Ooh.
I think so, yeah.
Spoilers for episode 2, though. But all right, fair enough. So you guys obviously you did massively well there. I think Hanabie is absolute treat. How does it feel like you guys, said to be one of the first to ever see them kind of like tour out of Japan is kind of insane when you think about it. Would you see them again if they came over and toured?
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, next time I'll probably do more concerts than one. Just this year I didn't have any days off left and not enough money. But
Yeah.
next time I'll definitely try to catch at least 2 or 3 shows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
me
hope
too.
next time I hope I don't have to fly to Germany and they come to Barcelona instead.
Yeah, hopefully, my man, hopefully. Like you said, they are touring pretty soon. Well, I know a few people on the Discord that are going to London, so there is going to be a part 2 to this video as well. I've got a few more guests that seen them in Germany with these guys, or I've got a few more guests that are going to see them in London, and I'm hoping to get on here. So it's going to be a very, very Hanabie centric videos for these 2. Also, the name. Let's be. How many people said Hanabie?
Everyone.
Everybody.
Except maybe like 5 people. And
Mm.
thier metal, he also goes to a lot of Bay metal shows. He's pretty known on Twitter. He was there too. He tried to correct people, but yeah, that didn't work.
So
That's going to make Hetsu angry. She put the E herself, Hetsu. So she's going to get angry.
So yeah, no, that's funny as fuck. I had to ask that now because then now people can stop having to go at me for saying Hanabie for the first couple of videos. That I did.
Even the opening band said Hanabie or Hanabie, I don't remember, but the opening band didn't get it either.
Yeah, they got it wrong too.
Oh, there you go. There you go. If you got it wrong, don't be at fault because by the sounds of it, I think everybody else did as well. Guys,
Also, from what I've heard from the show, just as a little anecdote from how the band is, what I heard from during the show, when the opening act was on stage, apparently the girls from Hanabie were in the upper floor watching the opening act before they went down backstage and prepared themselves. So
Yeah.
until like 5 minutes before they were done.
Oh, nice.
Which is also pretty cool, I
Oh.
guess.
I didn't know that.
I just figured it out afterwards. I heard that.
Oh wow! So yeah, I like that. To be fair, I like that. I like that when fellow artists come and watch like the opening gigs and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. I understand why some bands don't because they have to be behind stage and like to prepare. But it's not. I like that. I like that. I think that's something you can only do at smaller venues as well. Well, I say
Yeah.
smaller venues, but you know what I mean? Because obviously, near impossible to do on for big ones or stadium tours or whatever. But yeah, I want to say a big thank you guys for joining me. You've been really, really cool. Hearing your guys' stories and thoughts on Hanabie has been absolutely incredible. I really, really appreciate it. We will be back with a part 2 as well, so stay tuned for that one. Big thank you to my guests. And if you're watching this on YouTube as well, don't forget to like, subscribe. All that stuff helps the channel running and stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Take care.
Thank you for having us.
See you.